Chong. And today in the studio, very happy to have with us Sarah Stanley, who is a travel journalist with the Straits Times. Welcome, Sarah.
Hello, hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. We're going to talk about sustainability and in particular, sustainability when it comes to hotels. It is an ever-evolving topic, and I think hotels are trying as much as they can to be sustainable. What initially caught your attention and wanted you to explore what hotels are adopting?
Yeah, so I think sustainability as a topic, once we tell people this principle or this word so many times, it sort of feels like we are beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
We're talking about sustainability so much, but what does it really mean? And because I'm in the travel beat, I wanted to see what it means for travelers and how it's going to impact them. So instead of saying it's your fault and you have to do something about it, more like what is the industry doing and how will you be impacted? So in this case, I was going to explore cost a little bit when it comes to making changes.
Right. Okay, that's quite interesting.
So quite a few things caught my eye with your article because it says 5 ways that sustainability could show up, in your next hotel stay. A few things we've already seen done before, like changing out the water bottles, right? Now, most of the time you get these glass bottles instead of plastic. And then waste material decor. That I've seen before, right? It's not just in the artwork itself. It's also in the furniture, right? That they've started to use recycled materials. So talk about that a little bit.
Yep. So I think those are more like the low-hanging fruit, like you mentioned. When the industry first changed, these were probably one of the easiest things to get rid of single-use plastics. Or where do I put this waste that I've found a better way to manage? How do I put it back into my community? How do I show that I'm actually doing something about it? But now I think we're seeing different moves in the industry, especially for the hotels, and they're taking on things like using AI, using digitalization to make sustainability a bit more accessible to the guest. So those are low-hanging fruit, like you mentioned. There are more coming up.
When it comes to hotels adopting sustainability, and we'll deal with this on Facebook, a lot of them do it for marketing purposes.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about how we differentiate which is which. So keep it right here. We're going to go live on Facebook. Come join us as we continue this discussion on sustainability and your next hotel stay.
The morning drive.
Yeah. So as I was saying, it's a marketing thing.
You think so?
But how do we tell between genuine sustainability and just greenwashing?
Yeah. So I think this is a critique just across the travel industry, right? Like, are you just putting words out there like save the planet, that you put one sign in your toilet and then you think you think you're doing something, right? But I feel like the way forward for travelers to know whether it's greenwashing or not is to be more discerning. And one way to do that is like to know what kind of accreditation the hotel has. So in Singapore, it's GSTC, right? Global Sustainable Tourism Council. Most of the hotels are meant to come out with this accreditation, and they have like a full list of criteria to tick off. So knowing that this is available at a hotel or something they do, that's one way to know that's not greenwashing because there's a concrete plan behind it. Other ways is to ask. I feel like very often we take for granted that there's a sign on the check-in counter that says like, we are sustainable. Yeah. And then we think like, oh, they must be doing so much, you know? Yeah, but ask, and if the staff can answer, that's a great marker because the hotel must be pushing something that the staff can talk about or it's ingrained, So I think the way forward is to be discerning and to know which markers are like the true barometer of sustainability in a hotel.
Do you find that when it comes to this sustainability, the smaller boutique hotels are better at it than the bigger ones?
Wow. Okay, so I think yes, but I'm going to say why. Okay. And I think it's because bigger hotels have a harder job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So boutique hotels can make small changes that maybe their guest profile, they're more willing to accept.
That's true.
But luxury hotels, for example, right? Yeah, they're gonna have guests that like they want the amenities and they want like services that otherwise could have been changed down a boutique hotel. Yeah, so I think they have a tougher job. They're trying to change traveler behavior that's ingrained,
Yeah.
So the other thing I was looking at it is using digital technology, right? An app that the guests could actually sign on, and then you check your carbon footprint. How willing do you think guests would be able to partake, or rather be willing to partake in something like this?
So I was speaking to a couple of people who are in that space, right, the digitalization space. And the way forward is actually to meet your guests halfway. And where is everybody on? They're on their phones, right? So I do think people will embrace it a bit more, especially if you make things more convenient for them. Already around the world, we see hotels using like their apps, right? Their hotel group apps.
Correct.
To allow you to do mobile check-in, for example.
Yeah.
So you reach the hotel, you just get your room key or whatever. And then the next frontier is that you don't even have a room key anymore. You use your phone to unlock your door.
Yeah.
To do
Right?
QR codes and all that.
Correct.
So that's the thing. If you want to incentivize your guests to be more eco-conscious,
Yep.
maybe offer them points.
That's right.
You know, your next stay is free, that sort of thing, right?
Yep, that's right.
That will work hand in hand
Yep.
in pushing for sustainability in your guests as well.
I think so. The other thing that I find is interesting is, and we mentioned this, the swapping out of plastic bottles and the use of glass bottles. Some hotels have gone so far as to have in-room water filtration system.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, a bit atas.
That one is in Singapore, right?
In
That's
Singapore,
yeah,
Royal.
Park Royal
yes.
Collection, yeah.
Very
Yes.
cool.
So they do that, and I think that requires a bigger retrofit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's money, and like where does this money come from? Eventually, it's gonna have to be. It will trickle down to the consumers. In the end, right? That's how we're gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the budget comes from elsewhere, but most of the time we're the ones paying for it.
Yeah, you don't see it, but
No.
you're looking at all these swanky new things in the room and like, oh, so nice, but actually everything's packaged. in the
It is
box
packaged,
already.
but because I'm reading the report, right? Downtown Park Royal Collection, Marina Bay Sands, takes it a step further. They've got in-room water filtration systems, eliminating the need for bottled water altogether,
Yep.
preventing up to 360,000 plastic bottles from being discarded.
Yeah, it's an
That is
impressive
scary.
number.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how much you're using.
Okay, so the other thing was circular gastronomy.
Yes.
Let's talk about this.
I
Because
got stuff
we
to
were
say.
debating on this particular item that's being served here at the Singapore Edition restaurant
That's right.
called fish. Tell us about that.
Okay, so fish, they serve this dessert where they try to use every part of the fish in a sense that they use the eye in the ice cream of this dessert. I think that gets a bit divisive.
Yeah,
But
you think?
Okay, I, for one, like fish eye.
Right.
Especially in a fish head curry.
You know, the
I will
fish
wallet the
eye,
whole
right?
thing, yeah.
When fish were created, the eye
Yes.
was used for looking at, not for you to eat,
Fish, okay, I tell you this. Fish is food, okay? Fish are not friends. Fish is food. And
Right.
the gelatinous part around the
See,
eyeball
you see?
is good. Good collagen, okay,
sorry,
Sarah?
I'm with the Flying Dutchman on
Thank
this.
you, thank you.
I can't.
Okay, but did you try this fish eye ice cream?
No, I have not.
Alamak,
Yeah,
okay.
so I'm not a big exotic food fan, but if I had the opportunity and it's disguised as something,
Yeah, because it
I might
is.
just have it. Yeah, I might just have it.
So this one is encased in Valrhona chocolate macaron
That's right.
shells. So
Okay,
don't
I'm
knock
sorry.
it until you've tried it.
I'm sorry.
sure it's yummy.
Here is the challenge. Here's the challenge. I offer this challenge now to fish.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay? Bring me down for a meal. No. And that meal must contain everything in the fish, because you said
Yes, fin to tail.
Fin to tail. I want to figure this out. I want to see how you make this edible, because I
Right.
cannot comprehend it.
Right.
I'm coming with you. Thanks.
Of course, Carrie is coming with
Take
you.
me.
But that's not the only one. Before we went on air, you were telling us about what one hotel does with breadcrumbs
Yes,
or leftover
that's right.
breads.
Correct. So, breadcrumbs that are not used, or like the edges of a bread loaf that maybe like they don't really use for sandwiches, for example,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what happens with those is that they're toasted and they're ground down, and then they're put back into the flour, and then they're made into new bread. And this is done at
Wow.
JW Marriott Khao Lak.
That's
in Thailand.
amazing.
Yes, in
That's
Thailand.
really cool.
Yep.
That is something that every hotel can institute, because it's not difficult.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's so much wastage from the buffet breakfast, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yep.
That to me is that is really something.
Genius.
That's genius.
yeah.
Absolute genius.
Okay. Well, high-end hotels, they pride themselves on lavish experiences. We
Yes.
talked about this, right? Do you think it's tough for them to balance sustainability, without compromising your expectations of the guests?
Yep. So I want to throw in a fun fact here. So the word vacation, right? The Latin etymology of vacation is literally to mean to be free and to be empty. So that's like the mentality we've taken along for years and years and years, right? We go on holiday, we don't want to think about anything. We want to be treated with like an indulgent holiday, etc., etc. So luxury travelers, I think maybe they still have this part of them that's a bit harder to eradicate. They need the service, they need that, like the great amenities, etc.
They're spoiled, lah.
Yeah,
They're spoiled.
Yeah, I paid for this. I expect
I
this
paid.
level.
yeah, that is true. But I guess reports have been coming out to say that like more luxury travelers are actually interested in sustainability, and they're willing to make that change and willing to pay more as long as they know what goes into the cost of what they're paying for.
Yeah.
So how hotels are trying to balance this, they're weighing the balance, is that they have to still provide the service, but instead of removing things, they are replacing things. So instead of not seeing a toothbrush, maybe you're seeing it like with a bit more sustainable materials, sustainably made.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a good story behind this entire initiative is important, and guests can see that they're contributing to a part of the efforts to reduce waste and also be good for the environment.
Yep.
The other thing was out of all you travel so much, right? As a travel journalist, which is a great thing to do, right? Which of these initiatives actually stood out to you the most? Like, has the most impact?
Right. So what I'm most excited about, maybe most impactful for me, was looking at how AI and digitalization will take sustainability to the next level. Because like I was mentioning, right, we need to meet people halfway and everybody's on their phones. So how is me being on my phone going to help me with sustainability? How is it going to take it to the next level?
Yeah.
That's what's exciting.
Okay, we're going to go back on air in just a bit and continue
Ask
this
that question
conversation.
again, I think. That question's good.
All right.
You too, mysterious ways. Yes, that phrase has been used on me many times.
Really?
Ooh.
Okay, it's the Flying Dutchman and Carrie, Chong, and together here with us on the morning drive, we've got Sarah Stanley from the Straits Times, and very interesting article that you wrote that was just published yesterday, right?
Yep.
5 ways sustainability will show up at your next stay at the hotel. We've talked so much, including circular gastronomy, fish eye ice cream, which was very
Fish
interesting.
eyeball in...
No, it's a dessert. Okay, I'm sure it tastes nothing fishy.
Yes, so the reviews say.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge. Carrie needs to go to Morocco and eat the goat's eyeball.
Ooh.
I will. Take me there. Somebody pay for me and I will eat anything, all parts of the goat, okay? I'm game. So, Sarah, out of all the initiatives that you've researched, right, which one stood out to you as a big game changer that you think will impact the industry?
Yeah, so what I think at least was impactful to me is that it's how digitalization and AI will play into your next hotel stay and how that's going to be impactful for sustainability. So most hotels are trying to meet you halfway now. Where are you on the most? It's on your phones. How does the app that you're going to use, how is that going to help you track your carbon footprint without making you feel like, making it feel like a dreary experience?
Yeah, you have to incentivize your guests.
Yes, that's
okay?
right.
So
Points.
correct. Next day free, as long as you log into your app and do these things to reduce carbon footprint.
Yep.
That'll always work.
This is the problem with us. We have a planet that's in trouble. But hey, I gotta bribe you to save it. No, it's in trouble. It's dying. But let me bribe you to save it. It's just the way we are. I'm like that too. I admit, I'm like that too. So you've done this article. You've spoken to so many experts on the sustainability in the hotel industry. Where, in your mind, where do you see it heading? Say the next 5-10 years. Is there anything coming up that we should be looking out for?
Okay, so I think many more hotels are going to adopt these changes, but in different ways and at different timelines. Most of them might be invisible to the guests, but I think we need to be all the more discerning, right, about what we're looking at, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. What's exciting is how the rooms are going to change, I think. A lot of us are seeing so natural materials in rooms are now a big thing, right? Wood, stone, all that, right? But I think how, again, AI, right, it's going to function into your room. So we already know automatically turn off aircon, that kind of thing.
That's right.
That's how it works. Yeah. But now AI might change the game. They might actually adjust your temperature for you throughout the night so that it's the most eco-friendly way to live, for example. Or like lights. maybe the lights will change, maybe this and that will change. So these changes might not be like stuck or like immediately noticeable, but they will slowly come. So I think
but the thing is, right, the
interesting,
optimal
though.
temperature that's good for the Earth, right,
Yeah.
for the AC is at what, 26 or
26.
something? Is it? That's
Yeah, it's
too
20.
hot for me. So can you imagine I'm staying in a room, right?
This
and
is the critique.
And then AI goes like, oh, let's save the Earth 26 degrees. And I'm like
Yes.
sweating under the blankets. No!
No, you see,
How?
this
It's
is the
annoying.
thing. This is the thing. And I
Yeah.
don't understand it. My aircons are set at 26.
No.
See, it varies from person to person.
Yeah, my aircon is set at 26. And on some nights, it is warm.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And you're going, I'm under the blanket sweating.
Yeah.
There's
Take
a
off
simple
the
solution.
blanket.
Get
I
rid
knew
of the
you'd say
blanket.
that.
No, but I like it cold and under the blanket and being cozy, right?
Ah, so you are helping to destroy the planet.
Oops. Okay, so thank you very much. I think that's all the time we have today.
True.
Sarah Stanley, travel journalist from the Straits Times. Thanks for joining us here today on The Morning Drive.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sarah.
And
Thank
check
you.
out her article in the Straits Times. That's already out.
The Morning Drive, 1FM, good time.